It always starts the same way. She looks at you, not as you are, but as what you could become. You think you're being seen, but you're being measured, scanned. Imagine, she's not falling in love with you. She's falling in love with the idea of you. Consider this a warning. Women don't just desire men, they project onto them. They create a character, cast you in the role, and when you stop fitting the script, they replace the actor, not the story. It's called the animus, an inner masculine fantasy living inside every woman. When undeveloped, it becomes a tyrant. She argues without reason, moralizes without accountability, and punishes men for failing to live up to a role they never agreed to play. And you fall for it. You confuse attention with being understood. You think she loves you, but she loves the version of you she wrote in her head. When that fantasy breaks, you're left confused, rejected, humiliated. But you didn't fail. You simply stopped being a convincing character in her private film. So what's the solution? Individuation. The brutal path of becoming whole on your own. Not by seeking her approval, not by bending to her desires, but by choosing yourself. Because as long as you chase validation, you'll keep wearing the mask, smiling, nodding, performing, until you forget who you were before the act began. Women feel this. And the very things you think will make her love you, obedience, predictability, availability, are the reasons she loses attraction. Why? Because the feminine doesn't crave comfort. It craves mystery, strength, boundaries, presence. If you show up too available, too transparent, too soft, you don't become more lovable. You become invisible. And yet, most men would rather be fake than be alone. They'd rather keep playing the role than face the silence of self-confrontation. But remember this. You must die before you die. Burn the mask. Face the shadow. Stop blaming her for not seeing you, and start seeing yourself. Because here's the truth. You don't become a man by being chosen. You become a man by choosing yourself. And this is where most men check out. Because this is where comfort ends and responsibility begins. There are no shortcuts. No alpha cheat codes. Just offer yourself a hard path to sit alone in silence until your illusions crack, until the voice in your head, the one that says you're nothing without her, finally dies. But that voice will fight. It will scream, you need her. You're incomplete. No man survives without a woman's love. But I'm gonna tell you something more dangerous. The man who can stand without her, without applause, approval, or being needed, is finally free. Free from projection. Free from performing. Free from being someone else's idea of a man. And when you reach that place, you don't become distant. You become real, grounded, present, whole. Ironically, this is when women become most drawn to you, not because you need them, but because you don't. And you'll finally understand. She's on her own path too. She has to face her own illusions, her own inner masculine, her own animus. You can't save her. You can only save yourself. And by walking your path with brutal honesty, you become a mirror. Most will look away, but the rare few will thank you. That's the difference. Being loved for a role or being respected for the man you've become. When you stop performing, people around you start to shift. They get uncomfortable. They can feel it, even if they don't know why. You no longer fit their boxes. You stop playing by the rules. And society doesn't like that. It's like the great Roman emperor, Marcus Aurelius, once said, "The individuated man is feared, misunderstood, called arrogant. But really, he's just untouchable, unbuyable, uncontrollable, because he sees the game. and walks away. And that's when the resentment begins. The same people who wanted your approval will resent you for not needing theirs. Especially women still trapped in the fantasy. They'll call you emotionally unavailable, too distant, too analytical, too logical. But what they mean is, they can't control you anymore. You stopped reading the script. You stepped off their stage. You stopped being a character and became a man. Nikola Tesla once said, "What were once called gods are now mental illnesses. Possession is now neurosis, and men who chase validation, spiritually sick." You think you're being romantic when you say, "She's my everything. I die for her." But strong men and real seducers would say, that's not love. That's refusal. Refusal to carry your own soul. So you hand it to her. Make her responsible for your meaning, your worth, your purpose. And eventually, she drops it. Not because she's cruel, but because she must. No woman, no matter how loving, can carry the weight of a man who refuses to carry himself. And when she drops it, you'll feel betrayed. But you shouldn't. You should thank her, because that collapse was your awakening. The work of becoming a man was never hers to do. It was always yours. And now you have two choices. Blame her. Grow bitter. Join the mob of men who mock, resent, and swear off women. Turn inward. Do what Jung demanded. Begin the slow, painful, liberating path of individuation. Because the woman you're searching for, she's the part of you you've abandoned. Until you reclaim her, every love will be a lie. But when you do the work, when you integrate your own feminine, you stop chasing women altogether. You stop manipulating. You stop performing. You simply stand. And from that stillness, something rare happens. You attract women who don't want a character. They want the truth. And when she arrives, she won't want to mold you. She won't worship you. She won't ask you to complete her, because she's already whole. She's done her work, faced her own animus, earned her own illusions. She doesn't need a savior. She wants a partner. No masks, no scripts, no projections, just the truth. Real meets real. And in that meeting, there is no performance, no chasing, no fear, just love. The kind that doesn't demand, the kind born of freedom. But let me be honest, most of you will never feel it, because most of you will quit before you get there. You'll settle for fantasy, for the applause, for the comfort of being chosen for a role you never wrote. But if you have the courage to walk alone, to strip away every false layer you've built, you'll stand at the edge of something terrifying, yet beautiful. You'll find yourself. And from that moment on, women won't be your mirror. They'll be your equals, your allies, your reflections. You won't need them. You'll choose them. From strength, from the truth, from a place that knows, without apology, who you are. I didn't give you a map. I simply gave you a warning. If you refuse to confront yourself, you will become a slave to fantasy. But I also give you a challenge. Stop blaming women. Stop seeking completion in someone else's eyes. Stop waiting to be chosen. Choose yourself. Fully, unapologetically, relentlessly. And when you do, you become the author of your own life. Share this. Like it. Send it to another man still living in the illusion. Subscribe to this channel. Until next time.